Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to our season 3 episode. We are totally in love
Woohoo!
with Anja
And
and
Nicole.
Nicole. Yes. And so today we have an amazing couple, very beautiful couple, the Vaughans, and we are going to continue our conversation on emotional intelligence. Listen to them, listen to their wisdom, glean from them, and see what God is bringing up next. So, hello, Vaughns, the Vaughns.
Welcome.
Nice to
So,
meet you. And what are your individual names?
I'm Roderick.
And I'm Tracy Vaughn.
Hi, Vaughns. So, I have a question. Who are the Vaughns?
Oh
Oh,
man, that's a
who are
lot.
the Vaughns? Right?
Um,
Yeah, we're a lot. Yeah.
the Vaughns, in a nutshell, I believe, is just a blended family that's trying to create a legacy for our family by using the blueprint from the kingdom for the most part. And that's how we live our day to day life. Just trying to live out what the word says as husband and wife, as mother and father, as friend, sister, brother, all in one. That's literally how we live our life day to day. We're not perfect.
But we
We're not
serve a perfect God.
right.
So
So we just wake up every day just trying to be better than we were yesterday. So that's basically how we live our lives.
absolutely,
you
absolutely.
guys fit right in with us because we are all about authenticity and vulnerability and transparency. So we love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask a question, and we do this often, and today's no different. Can you, Tracy, introduce us to your husband and then vice versa?
Yeah, absolutely.
We should have studied.
Well, Roger Vaughn, he's a veteran. He's a military veteran. He was in the army for many years, and just a great man of God, a soldier, a warrior for God, and now he's a police officer. He's an amazing husband, great provider. Um, he's a protector. He is so responsible. That is one of the things that I admire about him so much. How responsible he is, and how his word is very important to him. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do something. And so, therefore, he's very reliable to me. He's a great leader, he's a great father, he's noble, he's honest. Integrity is huge to him, and he's going to hold you accountable too. If you He's a great accountability partner. So he definitely helps me to grow, to be better, to be stronger. I'm a little sensitive, so he got that hardness in him to help me balance that out a bit. And just an amazing man of God. He's a servant. He does prophetic mind, which is powerful. I love to see it. I'm always emotional when I see it because I know that he doesn't practice for that. So when you see him go out there and truly just mine for the first time, it's just so amazing to watch him. But he's so many things. I don't like.
Making it hard.
She didn't need to study. Look at that. She got an A.
I just love him, and I'm so grateful, for him.
Amen.
Amen.
So, who's Tracy?
No, my beautiful wife, she's to me like the whole package. Definitely a woman of God and very intelligent and beautiful. She's smart in so many ways. She has this heart that's like so loving that you wish everyone had. That agape love that everyone talks about with Jesus. She has that. She definitely lives by the word as well. She's in the word a lot as well. Sometimes I catch her in it. And she's she's ambitious. she knows what she wants and she go after it. She give a lot of thought into it. Sometimes she second guess herself. When I try to let her know that she already has the necessary tools and stuff like that. But after that, she goes out and get exactly what she's striving to get. She's top tier as far as moms. He helps me get to a point where I can unharden my heart for a lot of things. Because of my background and things like that, I do tend to have that hardened heart sometimes. So um, that's how we blend with each
Balance
other.
each
Like
other, yeah.
I need someone like that in my life because of my struggles and my daily struggles, and I just feel like she's the whole package. She's definitely the wife that any husband would want, I believe, and I'm glad I got her first. Whoever before her didn't count.
Right.
Okay? It's me. But yeah, I really don't think there's words that really describe her. That's you can try to figure it out which words fit her, but I don't think there is a word or a few words that can describe her. She's just that amazing to me. So
That's awesome. I was really. Oh, go ahead, Anja.
I was just curious, where are you guys from?
Well, I was born in the Bronx, and I was raised in Georgia in Clayton County, College Park area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
from North Carolina.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So Southern love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually gonna. I don't know. I just felt like that was on my heart to ask because so many men. Anja and I talk about this all the time. Just due to their experiences, right? Whatever that could look so many different ways. Have these challenges with a little bit of that hardness of heart, whatever that looks like, whatever that means. No judgment, but just and how God is so intentional
Hmm.
in pairing, these women that just like we're just saturated, oozing in the love of God, not perfect, but just what you just described, just being able to balance that out and help you kind of, come out of that. And so I would love to hear like more of your story, Roderick, and even yours, Tracy, like even prior to, of course, meeting, what was the journey like to walk you up to meeting? But then of course we want to hear about how y'all met and stuff. So
Yeah. So how we met. Um, I actually was working for a church in Dallas, Georgia, as a youth minister, and I will put on these events every month called Turn Up for Christ Teen Night, and so I was advertising, like looking for different local artists to come and perform for the youth at our church. And I get this DM, goes down in the DM. I'm playing.
And
what, what was it?
I get this DM that he was interested in participating in the event, and so I told him to send me his music so I can vet it, and it was great. He was amazing, so he actually performed at one of our events, and it was going so well, and it was like every time I had something, I will always call him because they loved him. The kids loved him. They were definitely a fan of his. His name was Roderick Rock at that time.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's kind of like started our friendship, because we were friends
through
first
ministry.
in through ministry. We just served together a lot, doing a lot of events. And then we kind of had the same circle of people from these local artists and things that would invite me to events and invite him, and we'll just keep coming in the same circle. So we were friends first.
Yeah.
And when we first met, though, we were both married. We were both married, but we didn't know we were going through like hard times in those marriages, because we didn't talk about any personal stuff. It was all
Strictly
strictly
ministry.
ministry. And then it was so funny because like in 2021, like around the holidays, I know it was around the holidays because I went ice skating with the kids and I fell and sprained my hand because I went over to my brother's house and I didn't know he knew my brother, and I
Oh,
came over there, my hand all wrapped up, coming tired with the kids, and I came through the door, and he was sitting on my brother's couch, and this like some time passed. I didn't see him in a while because I stopped doing the events. I think it was COVID or something, and he was sitting on my brother's couch, and I was like, "What you doing here?" You know. And he was like, "You know, me and your brother hang out sometimes," and I'm like, "What?"
Well, first, I didn't even know that they were brother and sister.
Right? Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like I didn't even know she had a brother. She never talked about the brother. I came to the events. I seen her with her homegirls, and that was it. So when this guy I ended up shooting a music video at the church that when she was a youth minister at. And I shot a video there because the people there treated me so well when I came to minister. So I was like, hey, when I shoot another video, I'm coming back to this church. I shot this video, and this guy, along with other people, was like, congratulations and all this other stuff. And he was a cool guy. So me and him became cool. And he used to always say, hey, come chill sometime. I had to go over there finally one night to chill. And then she pops through the door. And then that's how I found out that they were related, brother and sister. And I was like, this is crazy. But
yeah.
Now, did you feel any sparks, or what was that at that time?
Okay, not you know, because he was Roger Rock. He was a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
He was bro. He was. What's up, bro?
Okay.
For me, he was in brother zone.
She almost missed the blessing.
Yeah. So after that, I think my brother gave him my information to. He was looking for.
I was building my brand.
Building his brand. He wanted to get some T-shirts made, and so everybody knew that I sold T-shirts and things of that nature for my nonprofit organization. So he reached out to me to get the information. But then in that we just talked. I don't know. We just had a great time on the phone, just talking, laughing. This guy is hilarious. Like he used to have me cracking up to my stomach. Like I remember one time I laughed so hard and I snorted. I was so embarrassed because I snorted before, and I snorted and I was like. But we talked, and he brought up some movie. It was
Blessed
like Dietrich Haddon.
Dietrich Haddon movie, Blessed and Cursed.
Yeah, and he said, "You remind me
of the girl up there."
Of the girl, and
but she didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it. I'm real slow. Like when it comes to like guys trying to talk to me and stuff, especially if I'm on ministry mode or business. Like I'm not going to catch it. Like
That's funny.
And I was like, is he flirting with me? And then I'll second guess myself, and I'm like, nah.
So the movie Blessed, and I don't want to get off topic. I don't even know where we at right now.
We are where we are. We are where we are.
But the movie Blessed and Cursed was one of my favorite movies. And it was because I'm a Dietrich Haddon fan. And that was one of his best movies. And on that movie, he was playing as a gospel artist. I was a Christian rapper, and I did my ministry. So on the movie, he ended up being asked to come to this church where he became the worship leader. And the pastor had a daughter. Kind of found out her name was Tracy too. But she looked like her. Like she looked. So that was the weird part about it. And when I saw the movie, I saw it before I met her, but I used to watch it all the time. And I was watching it, and I was like, that'd be dope, to be doing music and have somebody that's like in the church, like that has your back, pray over you and stuff like that. If I ever get married again, I want a woman like that, So the girl was reminding me of her because she just had a loving heart, like that or whatever.
Working with the kids.
Working with the kids. And the girl in the movie did the same thing. Mm-hmm. And Dietrich Haddon was flirting with her, and she didn't catch it either. So after a while, she finally did. All of her, the ministers and everybody in the church, like, hey, I think he want to, talk to you. And the girl was like, oh, I think so. And that's how So I asked her one day, I was like, hey, have you ever seen Blessed and Cursed? And she was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, hey, just watch the movie. And then after you watch it, tell me what you think of it.
I watched the movie, and I was like, is he flirting? Is this his way to tell me?
It's a nice movie.
a mess.
Okay,
Yeah.
well.
That wasn't the point, right? So I didn't get it. I'm always like that. Even like when we started dating with. So to fast forward, um, so at first I told him no. When he
She turned me down.
Okay.
it, just because we had, well, I wasn't there yet, and then was going through my stuff, like in my process of my divorce, and he was going through his stuff or whatever. So I just wasn't there yet mentally, or emotionally. Um, but then his uncle passed away, and we was talking like all the time, just friends though. And we had some other project that we were going to do, like a fashion show or something like that, so we connected again for that. But when his uncle passed away, he disappeared, and I would call, to check on him and stuff. And it was so funny. I left it. So I started having this feeling like I kind of miss him. So now I'm questioning myself, like, what is that? Like, what is that feeling? Why do I feel this way? Why do I miss him? Why am I thinking about him? And so I called him and I left him a message, and it was very professional. It was one of them like, hi, just, checking in, letting you know that, we're going to postpone the fashion show. It was like on some professional stuff, but I really just wanted to know, like,
where are you?
Where you been? What's going on, because I started missing him.
I still got that voicemail.
He still got the voice.
That's cute.
I saved it in my phone.
Aww.
Yeah, so then we started.
I wasn't going to pick up, though.
But he did. He called me back and he told me what was going on. And, I was there for him during that time. And I said, let's hang out. Let's let's go out and talk or whatever. Cause we never did that where it was just us. Cause it was always like something going on, like with a group.
Yeah.
And that was the best night of my life. Like, we didn't do anything. We went to some restaurant.
Went and got food.
Yeah, but
and
we
sat there
talked
and talked
all night and
That sounds perfect.
had the best time, just phone call. And so we just,
and I ended up dropping her off at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed an hour away, so I ended up dropping her off at home. She said she had a great night or whatever, and I was already planning for the next outing or date. And I dropped her off home, and the whole way home I'm windows down and I'm just feeling good. But yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
So we ended up getting our divorces. And
yeah. Oh, another thing is, when I decided to talk to her, I was already separated, waiting on my divorce to finalize.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, and this how crazy now you remember I told you about the brother. I didn't know they was related, and all that other stuff was happening to the point that we didn't know was happening. Like, just little stuff, far as like, when I told her, I was like, if I'm gonna date her, I'm gonna be honest with her. I'm gonna let her know, hey, I'm separated, I'm going through a divorce, I have my own place, or whatever the case. I'm just waiting to it finalize, whatever the case may be. It was already in the courts, everybody's good to go, just and then she tells me pretty much she's going through the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that.
Mine's already moved out of the state,
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, and then I guess, for the most part, if we went out, I'm paying for everything pretty much for the most part. I don't think it was a thing where she was paying. I wouldn't let her pay for anything if she tried. But I entered my pen one day when I was getting gas. I don't know if I was filling up my car or filling up her car. And I just, told her, hey, here's the pen to my card or something. And she was like, that's my pen.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Even to this day, we got the same pen to our card. But now we have joint accounts, so it don't really matter. We have the same pen. So little stuff like that was happening, and it was just like,
that's so funny.
Did you feel that was God kind of confirming like some things?
Yeah. So let me be real with you, right? We started the date, right? But I started to get sick, right? I got sick when I wanted to move faster than I think God wanted me to move faster than.
Wow.
So it was more so every time I tried to move faster than God's pace, I got sick, literally multiple times.
Oh
So
wow.
couldn't keep food down, all types of stuff, right?
Wow.
So I felt like that was God saying basically, I'm aligning stuff for y'all. Who you? It may not be right, all right. So don't judge me, but I was saying was who you guys were with, and before it was a reason this stuff didn't work. I want you two to work, but if you can see, I'm allowing stuff to align for you guys to work, but these divorces need to be final.
Right.
Some other stuff need to be in line or whatever, but I'm gonna make sure y'all come together because I prayed to God and asked Him to give me a woman like her when I saw her. So I didn't know if He was gonna give me her. I just said I needed a woman like her because I knew what I was battling with. So I just felt like that's what it was for us. It was I'm gonna get you guys together. Hold your horses.
His timing, all right?
Yeah.
It's His time, and so eventually we battled with a lot of stuff until we stopped trying to move forward or move fast the way we wanted to.
Right.
Oh,
You know, and the thing about it, even though we were struggling and going through so much, because everybody think that it was like a perfect, we got together. I love at first sight. It was love at first sight for me, but it was like, flowers. No, we went through some stuff, and even now we go through stuff, but it's more manageable now, and it's in a healthy way, and it's more spirit led. Like it's not just we come up with something. Hey, let's figure it out. No, it's hey, let's come up with something. You know that's the enemy, don't you?
We recognize,
Yeah. So
who's intervening, who's trying to
Mhm.
infiltrate and, cause conflict and division in
Right.
our marriage. But
right.
we
I'm
didn't, like,
curious.
and it wasn't like that, it
Because
was
we
something
came
Yeah.
in.
with our own baggage, so we definitely believe in taking that time to heal. I think the way we came in, even though we were friends and, he was there for me and I was there for him, it was kind of like a codependency type situation. Like he said, it wasn't really on God's timing. So it was a lot of pressure, that we didn't have to have if we just was patient and allow God to, really just navigate this thing for us, our relationship.
So I'm curious as I'm hearing you say that, like, codependency and these terms that you just have to be aware of. Like that is very much self-awareness. That's very much emotional intelligence. If you're not careful, how many people, even in friendships, we do trauma bonding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that type of thing. And I'm just curious though, at any point did you freeze? Like, because I can only imagine that would be fearful too. Even though you bonded,
Mm-hmm.
was it where did fear come up a lot? Like, am I making a mistake, or just I don't know, whatever fear speaks. Was
Definitely, like
Get the cord.
for me, it there was some fear going on. I definitely, like, my educational background is in mental health, human services, and things of that nature. So there were things that I definitely recognized. It's even in the people pleasing, I battle with people pleasing even from childhood.
yeah.
yeah.
And, my love for him, although I recognized it, I didn't want to hurt his feelings or try to stop anything. So you kind of just still go with the flow of things. And, but to answer your question, yes, there was definitely fear. Um, God, are we doing the right thing? Is this a us thing or is this a you thing? And for us, like, we knew we wanted to be married. Like, one of the things with me, and that was one of the hard parts in the beginning, I don't do titles. Like, I don't believe girlfriend, boyfriend, when we reconnected, I mean, I'm like, what, 40? I was 40 years old. So that whole boyfriend, girlfriend thing for me, um, I don't believe in them.
Okay.
So I never give those kind of titles. I even teach my daughter that now. Like, there's no titles because with titles come responsibility. So he didn't understand that. I'm explaining to you, like, no, I want to be with you. I want to get to know you. I want to grow with you, date with purpose or what have you. But I'm not going to post on social media. I'm not going to, this is my boyfriend. This, like if we're not engaged, about to be married or what have you, like that's what I claim, So that was a hard situation for us as well.
I just didn't have the words, like,
Mhm.
because if it was up to me, I would have married her right then. So I didn't really care too much about girlfriend and boyfriend. I just didn't know what to call it. We got to call it something, you know. We had to call it something. So when it was like, oh, I don't know, girlfriend, boyfriend, that's cool. But what are we calling it?
What is it?
What is this?
Because
Yeah.
it's.
You were ready to marry her, like by what time? Like just
Say it again.
I was like 2 weeks in, 3 weeks. Like where was he?
Where were you?
You want the honest answer?
Yeah.
He was ready like day one.
Hey, I'm not mad at it.
That's why
I'm
women
not mad.
a lie from the pits of hell. It does not take no 10 years for
Oh, man.
like once.
So I used to express. So she was probably the first woman I can ever remember of me being so vulnerable to the point like I don't care what you say about me. I'm gonna let you know how I feel about you. And for me, it was one of those things of like I already have a hard shell on me, so when I decided to open up with her, I was like, whatever comes after this, it just comes with it. So I started expressing to her so much about how much I wanted to be with her. I want to marry her one day. I love her and all this stuff. She thought I was freaking running game on her.
I was like, that's pimp talk.
Okay. Question, because this is one of the reasons why I asked where were you from, because sometimes we can bring our environments into our relationships.
Right.
Do you think that was because even though you said you grew up in Georgia, like I can even still hear some of the New Yorker accent in there. Do you think that mindset was from the upbringing?
I mean, absolutely. Like, we kind of just had this conversation. Like, I remember just growing up, and I was I was raised in a single mother household, and there was no like husband and wife. I didn't have a stepfather. She was just kind of dating bad by myself. My sister the same way. Like just these strong, independent women. You live in that culture of like men are dogs and things of that nature. And I'm coming from abusive relationships. Like I was abused physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things, um, and relationships where you feel like you've been conned and a lot of malice and lies and things of that nature. But one thing I can say for him, he has always been honest with me, and I think that's what made me so intrigued about him. Like at first I was like, this is too good to be true, but then I realized he was so consistent. I think that's so important, especially when you're dealing with women that came from brokenness, or like abuse and things of that nature. You have to be consistent because I can put my wall up very quickly. Like if you show me anything that looks like my past, my trauma,
Yeah.
it definitely can cause me to respond in that way, And even though I was laughing when I said, okay, stop pimp talking, there's a part of me that's kind of like, I was serious at the same time, but he was so consistent. And I just kind of, I kept taking the steps with him. I may have been scared. I may have I wasn't sure, but something about him, like I was just very intrigued with the authenticity. He's so real. Sometimes he's too raw for me. So real. And I'm like, no, don't say, you can't say that. So, but I respect that, man. And that's one of the things that made me fall for him, because he was consistent and just true.
Yeah.
There's a part though with that, because as I'm listening to you say it, I'm like, oh my God, this is so the fact that you were willing to do it. Couple of things. So many women word curse themselves by saying that what they ain't gonna do.
Right.
What I'm not gonna do that. So therefore you don't. And even though you may want it in your heart, you don't. But also the willingness, because as you were walking through those tiny steps with him, that's extreme vulnerability.
Yeah.
Extreme vulnerability. And it's something that if you look on any social media platform today, if you even just listen to random conversations, especially by women who've been hurt, or have proximity to women who've been hurt, because sometimes our story is not he did me wrong, told me lies, but it could be mama and them story, or somebody else's story, but we still hold on to that. I think it's so amazing that you were willing to be vulnerable to take those steps with him, and now look what the outcome is.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And it's really like what I used to tell him, it's not you. I'm trusting the God in you.
Oh, that's
And
so good.
definitely I'm not on this thing of like being with the potential, because that gets us caught up too as women when we just focus on the potential. But when you really receive discernment from God, and God shows you the possibility self of that man, like he shows you the David the king, not David the shepherd boy, but David the king. Like I saw the king in him. Like I saw where God was taking him, and that it was beyond a potential. Like you can be. No, I saw it. God
Yeah.
showed and revealed to me
Yeah.
this man was. So that's what I
Yeah.
fight. So
Yeah.
when we had the conflict, I'm like, when we used to have our conflicts in the beginning, like constant, it was more me fighting of, do you know who you are?
Mm.
Do you know what
Yeah.
has for you?
Looking like it helped me.
Yeah. And
Powerful.
for a man that's stubborn like me, that can, because a lot of people want stuff like that, but the real question is, do you really? Do you know what comes with that? Are
Yeah.
you willing to be open to that? I want a woman that pray over me. I want a man to pray over me. You know what that sounds like and look like sometimes when you're in the room and you're mad and you hear her or him downstairs praying and you hear your name, and you like, hold up, what did she say? So, do you know what it's like to hear them prayers through the night and in the morning sleep and all that?
Wake up with all on your head.
I'm waking up, touching my head, oil in my head. Oh Lord, and we do the same thing, but in different styles.
Way,
but we
yeah.
have the same purpose.
Yeah.
And so for this relationship, I knew I wanted to be with her, and I knew I was ready to put in the work when we first started dating. Because, like I said, I had my own apartment. And I gave her access to everything.
He did. He gave me keys. Like, as soon as he moved in, I got a key. I remember being at work talking to my assistant, and I was like, he gave me a key to his house. What to do with that? And I would still call him first, like, I'm coming over. And he's like, you got a key. And I
Oh, wow.
don't know how to handle that.
So this is blowing my mind, like, Roderick, because I'm like, for you to say, you got this hard shell, you got this, hardness of heart. Like you, on so many levels, were so open. Like what? How did that? How did you arrive there?
It was because of her heart. Like it was one of those things of like, yeah, I was younger than her, but I've been through enough to know like, all right, this is it. And if this is it, I gotta have somebody that I can build with and grow from, because I needed help too, and not so much of like she was saying, like I seen my mom fall into that thing of dating the man and the potential of him, so she stay and try to help him build up, and then they leave. So I wanted to come to her and let her know, listen, hey, this is what I have, right? I can provide for you as well. You don't have to, build me up or anything like that. Far as like making me be this man or crap. I'm already this man.
Right.
a
That's
little,
powerful.
yeah, I just need a little help, so I
Help me.
gave her
Mhm.
access to my house. I gave her access to all my social media. I gave her access to anything that I felt like that I didn't want to
Cause
cause any
confusion.
confusions or anything like that because I've been through it already. It was like, all right, well,
Okay.
if what are some things that she may want to know and she don't want to come ask me, but she has access to?
I love it.
Who's at your house? Go over there and find out. uh, are you doing anything today? Pop up, see if I'm doing anything today.
Roll up.
So it was more like that. We probably have to put that charger on and take that thing out of there. It's on 10%.
Okay.
So the vocals might cut down a little bit. Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, I just gave her access to all of that stuff. Just because I didn't want it to be no issues. I didn't, and it was coming from past experiences as well. And it was like I don't ever want her to think that I'm cheating on her or possibly gonna cheat on, or I got this double life or all that, whatever crazy stories you hear. I was like, my wife ain't gonna be the one at the table like, hey, did you know Roger was talking to? Never gonna put her in that position.
And I needed
So
that, because I came, like I said, I came from, you know, untruths, so
Mhm.
not having integrity and things of that nature. So to have that, like, it was definitely refreshing.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
I've heard you guys mention this age gap a couple of times, but I don't think I caught what the age gap it was. What's the age gap?
16,
So I'm 45.
and I'm 21. No,
No,
I'm 35.
he's 35.
Oh,
Okay.
so a 10-year.
Yes.
Yeah, I be telling her, she be like, I when we first got together, whatever. I don't know you know, 'cause you're so young. I'm young in age. That's it.
He
She'll
has
tell
an
you.
old soul. Like, now that I know him, I'm
Mhm.
the young one.
I
So it's funny because we have a mutual friend also, Nicole and I, and her husband Vonda, actually the pastors, Pastor Vonda and Pastor Josh. They have a church. Oh my gosh, it's in Jacksonville, Florida. Launch Church in Jacksonville, Florida. Child, she is a whole 10 years older than him,
Okay.
and he is very hyper, very like, but you would never, ever, ever, ever know. And what I love about it is because God is out here preserving the youth of
Yeah.
older women who get with these younger men.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
yeah, I mean, I like it. Like if I was gonna marry somebody again, it wouldn't have been nobody younger. Like I needed what I got. So
That's good. That's good. Okay, so let's talk about like how once you got together, and it sounds like it was pretty quick, and it was just like God was in it, but He was pacing the timing.
Right.
Once you're in it, right? You married when? Because I remember. Listen, I remember I had front row seats. So I remember the surprise engagement. I do. Want to talk about that a little bit?
yeah. No. So yeah, that you talking about the proposal, right?
Yes, yes. The
Oh, okay,
proposal.
yeah, beautiful day. I loved it. Um, so I had already, how it. Now this is one of the most scariest moment, I guess, for men. Is like you've been with this person. You don't have no doubts that she would say no, but you still want to joke and ask little questions to see where her head at.
Mhm.
So you ask her questions and you just on some stuff like, uh, yeah, we should get married, huh? Just to see what she'll say, or stuff like, I'm gonna marry you one day. And if the girl say stuff like, well, I ain't got no ring yet, that's like, okay, she went on me. You know. But if you say stuff like, hey, I'm gonna marry you one day, and she be like, stop playing, nobody got time for that. Oh, it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. So we used to always talk and joke and play and stuff like that,
And we
but
went ring shopping. We kind of
went
looked at
ring shopping and
rings.
stuff like that, and that was a special moment too because she picked out the ring and she started crying and was like, "Well, this the one." Uh, So that
Yeah.
was so we ended up getting the rings, and I remember I asked Dr. Mary, I was like, "Hey, I supposed to perform today, or minister today," and I was like, "How do you feel about me proposing to Tracy?" And then she leaned over and whispered in
She's
my
so
ear. She
cute.
was like, "Jimmy," she said, "You know she gonna say yes?"
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, I said, we talked about it, and she seemed to be on board. She just don't know when I'm gonna do it." So
Hmm.
she was like, "Okay, after you minister, the floor is yours. Do what you want to do." So I done ministered. I rapped this Sunday instead of
Hmm.
miming, and that's when I got on one knee, and then she was just so shocked because that whole morning I'm nervous, but I'm rushing trying to get to church because I was like, I got to make sure I got my stuff ready to go on stage, and
And I'm recording him while he's performing. So.
thinking it's just a regular day of her recording.
Hmm.
And I had to remember. I remember leaving we was in an apartment at that time, and I was like, I remember going to the apartment and then trying to remember where I hid the ring at. Oh man, I ring. And then I remember I put it in the far back of her closet. So I went and got the ring, and then we headed to church or whatever. And I remember like I didn't even minister like I normally would that day because
Hmm.
my mind was just so focused on, oh, this is about to
And you
be.
were sweating.
Aw.
He was
Yeah,
sweating, yeah.
yeah. So I ended
Hmm.
up proposing to her, and it was very special. It was definitely a special day because
Yeah.
I wanted to do it at the church because I wanted that to be the foundation. Where you got married, where you proposed to your wife at? Yep, in church. It could be something I never forget. I knew who was the head of that thing, so I wanted to come to the house of the Lord to do it.
Hmm.
Um, so it all worked out. It all
But
worked
we
out.
told
Yes.
didn't know when he was
Yeah.
going to do it because his lease was coming up ending.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like trying to figure out, try to be strategic as
Mm-hmm.
far as like, okay, do you need to sign another year lease? And
Or we're
I was
gonna
in,
move
yeah,
in.
because I was in property management. So I had a free apartment. So I was like, we can do that for a year. So we're already planning because we knew ultimately we wanted to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that. So it all worked out. His lease was up. What?
February
We
or
got
January.
married April.
April.
Yeah. And we, a year later, we actually built a house.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. So I have a question. Did you guys have because you guys were already each other's second relationships? Who did you guys find yourselves surrounded by or surrounding yourselves by as
Look.
far as outside influences, and how did that affect, because I know your brother was cool with him, that's cool, but were there any homegirls that you had at that time who had things to say? Or I agree, that's a good question, yes. uh
Good question.
um if you guys had like any homegirls, and then you opposite, were any of your boys like, oh, hold on, I'm just very curious through the dating process, not necessarily when you got to the proposal, because you guys were pretty far gone at that time, but
Hmm.
stepping out.
Stepping out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
See.
whole nother story.
Uh.
So for me, I had, so like I said, I have a nonprofit organization, and it was like a woman's ministry where we like served, to the homeless and things of that nature. But since then, we've transitioned into, helping young girls transition out of the foster care system, and get into their own apartment and, go into adulthood. Well, in that situation, um, I don't know what it is when it came to Tracy having a relationship. Everybody else could have a relationship, but when Tracy has a relationship, I don't know if it was that kind of like control. Sometimes even friendships and
Mm-hmm.
sisterhoods can want to control you and control your moves, because if you get into a relationship with the man, then it may take away from what you're doing with that, with these
Yeah.
people, that person, or what have you. So I just want to be mindful in what I'm communicating here. But it was a lot of issues in me getting into a relationship with someone, um, because people know once I get into a relationship, that is going to be a focus of mine, and I think some were afraid that it would take away from my ministry.
No. Hmm.
So it wasn't like, yay, I'm happy for you, Tracy, you found love. It was a lot of backlash, because we were trying to build this brand. So we was at a pivotal moment of breaking into something else,
Hmm.
which God already showed me some other things with that, so I'm glad how things went, but we were breaking into something else. And I think they wanted me to just focus
Interesting.
on that.
Interesting. Anja and I, just to interject, we talked about this a lot, and I talked to a lot of my single Christian um, friends about this. It's
Mhm.
not to bash the church,
Right.
but it is often a situation where sometimes trying to navigate that space of wanting to be married, and how sometimes you can be pigeonholed in a place of, oh, you're just this dutiful servant.
Hmm.
And ideally, that's God's plan for
Right.
us to walk
Right.
in kingdom marriage, kingdom partnership. But like you said, sometimes yeah, the agendas of God and man can get confused, perhaps,
Mhm.
I don't know, but it is interesting.
Yeah. And it's a sense of control, and we just got to be careful with those kinds of relationships. And I'm sure, God revealed things to me previously. I think this, and then Him helping me with that process and saying, Tracy, have you ever considered this? I never had that. I had no one to say, because this was my life.
Yeah.
And if I didn't do what they wanted from me, then
Yes.
it's an issue constantly. So this is not how God moves. Like, I'm not a puppet to God. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm.
so it's me doing His will, but even still, He still give you a freedom of choice. And I don't know. I just feel like in that particular situation, it was a lot of control and wanting to do their thing versus doing what, a God thing.
It's very poignant, and I can see your delicate nature of tiptoeing that and showing
Mhm.
grace and respect, and so
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah.
But it's very poignant to point out, I think, because so many people, like you said, you were, and I'll say women in particular, are blind to that, and
Yeah.
we're just dutifully serving under these in this area of control. It is, there's no other way to say it. There's a spirit
Hmm.
of control and religion in
Hmm.
sometimes in these atmospheres that it really is keeping us out of the marriages that God desires.
Right.
Let's be honest about it.
Hmm.
So
I love the fact that you just answered the question, but I love that because I was going to ask how did He cover you in this way, but I also kind of see Him like shifting a little bit just from memories. I was like, oh, okay, He covered her
Oh,
well.
He don't play about
He
me.
did good. And then you also mentioned that He honestly, in a sense, because we as women, we're taught to be people pleasers.
Hmm.
We are taught to take care of everything. We have all of these extra things that men have the privilege of not necessarily having to deal with. So I love that He was able to come and be like, wait a minute, boundary, hold
Right.
up, hold
Right.
up. And so that it was honestly enforcing His role as a priest, prophet, and a king
Hmm.
of you and what would become His home to protect you in that way. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. And I didn't, of course, you don't understand it at that time, because I
It's
gave Him,
drama.
like, it's my sisters, that type of stuff. You don't understand what we've been through. the emotional part of it, but he was able to bring the logic into it, and help me regulate those emotions. And I definitely appreciate him, through that process, because it was a lot of like, it was heartbreak when I had to disconnect myself. Like, it was like a divorce,
Yeah.
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 and it's ugly, especially when you love to serve. Like, you love to serve, you love what you're doing, but when it gets to that place where that season is up, you knew the season was up, but you still trying to make it work because, like you said, the people pleasing
Yeah.
and the love for people. You love these people,
Yeah.
and you want it to work, but it gets to a point where it's like, enough is enough. This is
Mm.
no longer about ministry.
I'm not sure if that's an aspect of human nature or if it's church. I think it's a little bit more of church and the religion. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say church, but just kind of the infrastructure of church where we could truly mean it when we say we're happy for one another
Right.
versus it just being something to say because it sounds good or
Mm-hmm.
say because we think we're supposed to,
Yeah.
but really start working out actually being happy for your sister when their season is here.
Right.
Because it's always going to be somebody's season.
Mm-hmm.
Always going to be somebody's season. So
And even
really
if
working
it doesn't
that.
look like how you want it to look like for your sister, and I
Yeah.
Yeah.
other part of it too, like, we want it to be a certain way, but it's not going to always be butterflies and rainbows, what I
Yeah.
mean? We're looking for perfection at hello. Sometimes you have to, well, not sometimes, but you have to work towards perfection.
That's another part of I'll just interject because we've had many conversations about sometimes not being prepped the way we maybe should be in the church because it's like, oh, we're marrying someone who's like the pastor, which in truth you probably are because the pastor ain't all that. But I digress. But I say that to say it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we've been taught that, oh, this man has to come all together, the woman has to come with everything all together. And that's really not reality. And that's not the grace of how God moves through relationships. Not to say you want just anything,
Of
but
course.
yeah.
I mean, just to let you, just an example, like with us, like when we first met, like, I was making more than he was, but like he told you, like, he will pay for dinner. He would, I didn't know if he was struggling. I would never had known because the way he was so responsible, he had his stuff in order,
She didn't know. She didn't know until we got married. Like
Yeah,
that.
like struggling, and it broke my heart because I'm like, babe, you could have just said something, and I would have like paid for dinner or something. It was no big deal, but now the point I was making is, now, like, just because of how life happened, became a police officer and things of that nature, he's making more than me. Like, he was making double. Like, I'm not working now. I no longer have to work. I get to go.
Praise the Lord.
Classes that I need to take for my licensure for my own practice. So he's given me the grace to be able to stay at home, be a stay at home wife, mom right now, so I can take these classes, so I can chase my dreams. So
Love it.
don't look at the beginning and think like this is how it's always gonna be. You know what I mean? Because that's not the case. Definitely not in my situation. It turned around.
Yeah. My question, I know we're winding down. This has been so valuable. And so thank you so much for sharing your story. What words of advice would you give, Tracy, Roderick, to women such as ourselves, such as our audience that are, and I know you guys maybe didn't experience this. It sounds like you were married early, but those people that have been kind of waiting
Right.
and waiting, and so that is sometimes that can be a very discouraging place. But what words of encouragement possibly could you give to those people? Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Um, I would, I would, I would say, when you're not gonna have it all together. When you meet him or meet her, whatever. A lot of people trying to wait until they heal completely, and then you're gonna die completely, just like
You're so
that.
funny.
It's one of those things of like, I pray that people can use um get that discernment from the Holy Spirit, or when they're talking to somebody, um and knowing like if this person is the one, is this the one that God wants me to be with, to death do us part. Is who does he want me to be with to help me build this kingdom? And I think that's a hard thing to do, but I think you should definitely get to that point before you start to date somebody, as far as get in tune more with God and basically allowing the Holy Spirit to use you and give you guidance before you start saying, okay, well, I'm gonna just date this person because they look good. I promise you, you're gonna hurt yourself.
And I'll just can I add?
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, like, waiting is not a bad thing. Like, that is a great time for you to grow in Christ and get to know God. I used to do date nights with Jesus. I would go to like Red Lobster. I know just McDonald's is like I'll go to a
I know that's right.
and because God, my daddy, he owns it all, right? So I'll go to a nice restaurant. I have my Bible and I will read my word and eat my good food. And then the waitress, it actually became like a topic of conversation. And, where did Roderick meet me? He met me out in the field, just like, Ruth, she was in the field when she met Boaz. So it's not, I wouldn't even call it as a waiting. Right, just serve, just get to know God, just grow in Christ, allow him, be his wife first so he can show you how to be a wife to your husband. I think that's very important, because um anybody couldn't had been able to be a partner to Roderick. You know what I mean? Like, I had to understand the importance of patience. I had to understand the importance of being slow to speak and quick to listen. I had to understand the order of husband and wife, and being able to trust. No, it probably didn't go with like everything I felt, biblically or whatever the case may be, but being able to trust the God in Roderick and believe that he's going to be yielded to the whole Holy Spirit, and that's hard for a lot of women to do.
It's gonna be that way. It's gonna always be that way. Even when you get to that point, what she just said, you're gonna still have to keep doing that while you're married. It's a continuous thing. It's not no, we get married, we both go to church, and our life gonna be no. It's this thing is gonna keep rolling every year, every day, every month. You're gonna learn something new about the person, and guess what? What you just learn, you got to take it to God and learn how to manage that and make sure it's what God wants for the marriage.
Yeah.
So this is a continuous job.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's like bidding for anything else. If you got an interview tomorrow for a job, that night before you gonna prep, you gonna make sure you got your clothes together, you're gonna make sure your hair done, you're gonna make sure the guys the haircut, cologne on before you go out, whatever. Why? Because you're prepping for something that you really want.
Right.
It's the same thing for a marriage or anything like that. Prep for it. Get in position for it.
While
Fix
waiting.
your posture. If your posture is like, I'm gonna go, hey. No. So if you
get in posture, get in position.
Fix your posture. Your posture is like, you know when you say, hey, I hope I meet someone that I truly love and I can build with. If you know in back of your mind you're saying, but I hope they ain't like this. Take that out your mind. Because every that all that does is you're still speaking that into existence. You're like, hey, I want to meet this man, but the back of, or to meet this woman in the back of your mind is like, but I hope they ain't, acting like this or doing like this.
All the negativity that was learned behaviors. These are learned thoughts that were probably given to us from people that were bitter, that was hurting, that was broken. And it's just passing down in generations on what a real man is or what have you. The only way we're going to know what a real man is or what a real woman is
if you got my picture. I'm playing.
If you spend time with God, like only God can reveal to you what a real man is for you, you know, and your man may not look like my man, we're all individually made.
Yes, that's so good, Tracy.
Yeah, so
because there's a and I know again this has been so good. We're winding down, but there's this debate going back and forth, and even on our Facebook page, some people were like should you have the list? Should you pray for the list? Should you throw out the list? And I think it's different for different people, but
Yeah.
just hearing you guys even talking, even Roderick, even though he didn't have maybe a written list, there was some form of something, but it didn't seem like he was just like if God sent him like, oh, I want you to have this, it sounded like he would have went in that direction.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know. What are your thoughts about it? The list?
I don't, I don't, I don't think you should have a list, right? I if you do have a list, that's cool because
Or
we
have
all
like a standard.
yeah
maybe with some
we all have been
boundaries.
there where we
Mhm.
have that certain type of list.
Mhm.
When I got with her, I didn't have a list. I saw the God in her, and that drew me.
Mhm.
I knew whatever the God in her was of everything that I needed,
Right.
and He will give her everything that I need
Mhm.
because she has the God in her. And when you make it that simple, then whatever comes with it, it was sent by God. So you don't worry about if she this tall,
Mm-hmm.
this small. Like you don't have to worry about all of that stuff. And I
Mhm.
The
told her,
list was the character and the nature of God. That's what it
yeah,
is.
I
Right.
told her I
The
got with her because
fruit
of
of the spirit.
her heart and stuff. And then I was like, you being beautiful was just a plus, but I promise I didn't say, oh, she looked good. That wasn't what drove me to her. You know,
Mhm.
it was just her heart, and I seen how she moved about in church with people and stuff, and I was like, God knows, man, I need something like that because I'm broken. You know,
Mhm.
I'm messed up. You know, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andre, any parting words?
This was fun. I mean, all of our conversations for the most part are fun, but um, what I love is just how every story is so unique and yet is still at the same time so God.
Yes. Amen.
Where can people find you? I know you've got a lot of accolades and credentials and resources that people can probably glean from. Where can people find you and follow you and get services? And then what are you doing? What's coming up? What are you doing? You can speak to that.
Well, the next thing we have coming up on August 9th, we're actually doing a marriage seminar at the Life Center in Dunwoody, Georgia. And we will be speaking, and Roger will be miming, and I will be teaching the word. So we're definitely looking forward to that. We do have our company, Genesis Coaching Services, where we actually facilitate youth boot camps, just to kind of help them with like their mental health, self-esteem, and then we implement physical fitness as well, you know, because exercise definitely helps put bring oxygen to the brain, so that's definitely important, especially when it comes to mental health. So we kind of merge that together for our youth boot camps. And we also we help coach and counsel marriage and families. So that's very important to us, especially with us being a blended family. We know the struggles. That's one of the hardest type of family dynamics to be in a blended family, because you just have so many different aspects of it that can cause conflict. So yeah,
Mm.
coachesservices.com. And you can find us on social media. Just look us up by our name, Tracy Vaughn and Roderick Vaughn. And we're just so grateful to serve God and His people. And we love marriages and family. We love love. We're
Yeah.
so in love.
Totally in love.
Yes, totally in love. This
The
one.
seminar, it'll be a lot more in depth of what really happened
What
in
we've
this
been
marriage,
through. Yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
what happened in this marriage and some stuff definitely that could have broke us, you know, a few times, and how did we rebuild from that. Um, it's going to
You
be
would
a
hear about
lot,
us,
and a lot of
our
stuff is going to
journey
shock you.
with losing our son.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff is going to shock you because people look at us and think we are like got
Good
it
to go.
together, and it was like you don't even realize or understand that, you know, we she could have been sitting here by herself today.
Mm-hmm.
And not because I left for divorce, but because I was
Yeah.
done with what I was battling with.
Right.
You know, so there's a lot of stuff in depth that we'll talk about at the seminar that's gonna shock a lot of people, and how we overcame all of that other
Yes.
stuff. So
Man.
singles and divorce, married,
Engage
engaged for everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, until next time.
Stay in love.
We want to know.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
That's perfect. On cue. We'll pay you later. All right. Bye.